What up, everybody? It's Sinny, and this is Dark Souls 3. And today we're going to be continuing our first playthrough on the channel. Goal is just to beat the game. Last time I played, we got done with Smoldering Lake, the demon ruins. We beat the old demon there in the Smoldering Lake. Got all kinds of treasure and everything, so now we're back in the Firelink Shrine. We're gonna see if anything has changed here since we last visited. This isn't the most exciting thing we could be doing, but you always gotta come back and check with your NPCs every once in a while, especially after you do certain things. Like if you beat a boss, or you meet a new NPC, you pick up a Estus shard or a bone shard, you want to come back here and visit the NPCs and use those special items and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you come back to Firelink every once in a while, at least after every major event in the game, I'd say. Talking to Andre, seeing if I can reinforce my Estus flask or any of my weapons. Sometimes he does have things to say. He has a quest, I think, with Hawkwood, but I think that's over and done with.
Hello, you're back, and in one piece. You can keep the ring as you can.
Talking to Grey Rat just to see if he has anything new.
Goodbye, modest.
Head back here, let's just talk to everybody and see if anyone has anything new.
Speak, thy desire honourable. Our lord and liege, knowest thou of a maid named Anri? She is hollow, and will join thee in wedlock. A fellow of mine guides her at this moment. When the time is ripe, thou mayst make thy salutations. For what lord taketh no spouse? Our lord and liege, knowest thou of she is
Saying the same thing again about Henri. So Yuria wants us to marry Henri. I had thought I'd screwed up that quest last time by not talking to Horus before fighting Wolnir, but that's not the case.
There you are, unkindled. I am what have we here? A pyromancy tome from Izalith. Then you found the home of pyromancy. Brilliant. I will never curse being old and undead again. Now, show it here, quickly. Let us channel them together. The primal pyromancy is known only to old Master Salaman.
I'll try not to talk him when they're talking.
Accept this. This pyromancy tome is dark and delves into the depths of men where an untouchable flame resides. I cannot comprehend this myself, let alone teach it to you. It is a spell forbidden in the Great Swamp, and nearly everywhere else too. Only one terribly afflicted or burdened by deep sorrow could begin to understand this.
So he's just like the beginning pyromancy teacher. He can't.
My words, unkindled one. Fear the fire.
He can't teach you every tome. Some of them you have to give to Carla later on, who's a more advanced pyromancy teacher.
Was a flame of chaos tangled by a witch's hand. But who's to say that this bonfire's flame is any different?
So he can get you started, but you can't.
Not be gone for long. What is it?
He can't do all of the tomes.
Back again, I see. Perfect timing too. I'm in need of a diversion. Oh, I have something for you. You're a fine sorcerer now. No mistake. You should have something to prove it. Go on. If I'm giving something away, you'd better well take it.
Young Dragon Ring.
How do you
So I think it's either however many scrolls you give him, or if you buy...
cipher employed by sorcerers who use quietude to their advantage. With this, you can be sure to tell friend from foe from your very first encounter. It's a very old practice at this point, but one that you deserve to know.
So if you give him a certain amount of scrolls,
I don't mean to seem overbearing in exchange from in the form of I hope you're not.
or you buy a certain amount of spells, he'll give you the Young Dragon Ring and the Slumbering Dragon Ring and that gesture. Which here we'll read what they say. Young Dragon Ring boosts sorceries. Ring given in Vinheim, home of the sorcery. When newly ordained as a sorcerer, it boosts sorceries. Apropos to the Dragon School, the seal depicts an everlasting dragon. A young dragon presages the great length of the journey to mastery. So that's one you can get from him for, I think, buying a certain amount of spells or spending a certain amount of souls, or maybe it's giving him a certain amount of scrolls, I'm not sure, but something like that. The other one he gives is Slumbering Dragoncrest Ring, ring of a clandestine guild of sorcerers based in Vinheim, home of sorcery, masks the sound of its wearer. The Dragon School held effective sovereignty over Vinheim with a great many adept assassins at its disposal. So it just makes you quiet when you wear it. Enemies don't hear you as soon as they usually do. It's good for backstabs or speed runs, stuff like that, when you're trying to do a challenge. Let's talk to her.
Oh, Champion of Ash, welcome back. Do you wish to hear a tale? You know, in my home of Kari, I would be pleased, although to be honest, but if I had it, terribly sorry.
She's kind of annoying because if you give her the wrong tomes,
Oh, chap, do you wish?
it screws up her quest. You kind of have to decide, are you going to do her quest or not? If you are, then you can't give her certain tomes, like the evil tomes. And if you aren't, then just give her everything. Eventually she'll disappear though, so... You either gotta decide, are you gonna try to turn her into a firekeeper, or are you gonna pretty much get her killed before you hand her too many tomes. You can give her like the first one and not have to worry about it. Here's Patches with his squat gesture.
Welcome to Patch's Boutique of Wonders. Can't resist it, can you? My sumptuous selection. Ah, I see you've made Rat. The slinking rodent. But he did me a good turn back in Lothric Dungeon. Doubtless I should do something about that little dead. Well, maybe not. Well, I hardly believe he's still standing. Ah, the step.
Nothing new there. I did get squat. I don't think I got it on video, but I did get that gesture. He will do it eventually, and when you see him do it, you just talk to him and he gives it to you. You also need him here in Firelink for when you send Grey Rat out on his next pillage to protect him. If you don't have Patches, Grey Rat will die.
And if you grow weak, come on, give yourself. Now, come.
Pretty much nothing left to do with him that I know of.
Aha, thou returned. So,
Make sure you get Havel's ring from this guy. I think you just turn in a demon soul, like from Farron's Keep, the demon way up on the bridge. I think.
ah, most illustrious Lord Seeker, or should I say, Lord Slayer. Fine kindling for the thrones, is it not? Each soul truly worthy of lordship, and all slain by thy hand to bind them to their thrones, even in death. Oh, I have no
So make sure you get Havel's ring from him. It'll help lower your equipment load, especially if you're going to be a big, heavy fat roller. You want that Havel's ring. So we're done with Demon Ruins. We're done with Smoldering Lake. We got all kinds of tomes, materials. We've upgraded our weapon. We got some levels. All kinds of treasure from down there. The Shield of Want. All kinds of shit. So now we're going to progress in the game. We're going to go to Irithyll. No more side paths. We're heading straight for the end from now on. Just wanted to talk to the people at Firelink, make sure they didn't have anything new to say. We did get a couple new rings from talking to Orbeck, so that's good. Right here, when you run across this bridge coming up, if you don't have the doll from the cathedral, you won't be able to proceed into Irithyll. So you need to make sure to go to the cathedral first. I made that mistake in my first playthrough of this game. I came here to the Irithyll. I tried to go across the bridge. There's a invisible barrier that won't let you through unless you have the doll from beating the deacons, the cathedral deacons. And that big ass alligator monster will eat your lunch while you're trying to figure out why you can't get through the barrier. So make sure you have the doll from the cathedral. You have to go do that first before you come here. I think I totally skipped the whole cathedral area my first playthrough. I got here, I had to go back and figure it out. It was slightly frustrating, but there's a huge alligator demon right here that we're gonna have to fight, or may not fight. I can't remember. We'll see. Buff the weapon with charcoal pine resin, or sellsword twin blades. Dodge them. Get a hit in. Dodge. Try to get a hit. Missed. Got hit. Take a little swig of Estus. Get our health all the way back up. Dodge him again. He gets us a little hit on us. We get a little hit on him. We get some big hits on him. And he is dead. So we win. We get Pontiff's Right Eye, a ring. He did take quite a chunk out of us, made us use a couple Estus, but we were the victor. We got a new ring. And we won't have to face him later. If you don't kill him here, he will attack you again later on in the level, in the area. Pontiff's Right Eye, bewitched ring that Pontiff Sulyvahn bestowed upon his knights. Boosts attacks as long as attacking persists. Knights who peer into the black orb are lured into battles of death, transformed into frenzied beasts. No wonder the Pontiff only provides these rings to the dispatched to foreign lands. To those dispatched to foreign lands. So Pontiff's Right Eye will boost your attacks as long as attacking persists. And Pontiff's Left Eye will heal you as long as attacking persists. So if you wear both of them and you're using a fast weapon that you're going to be hitting enemies several times, I'd say at least 5-6 times, that's when it'll kick in. It'll heal you up and hit harder. It's kind of hard to use, but you know, you got to be using like super fast daggers for it to be useful. Even with my sellsword twin blades, I tried using them. It works, but it gives me like one tick of that buff, like on my last hit. So it's not really super useful unless you're fighting a boss or something. And then there's other rings you can use that are just as good, that you can just use all the time instead of having to switch them around. But like I've said in previous videos, people who switch their rings more often are usually more experienced, better players. There's a ring for every situation. New players gonna want to keep the same rings on all the time. More experienced, better player will at least switch 1 or 2 rings out, depending on situations, every once in a while at least. And that's my opinion, but it's usually how it is in a lot of games. If you're fighting a boss that is a ice monster, you want to use fire weapons and put on ice protective gear. It's like a MMO, you know? If you're going into a dungeon where everything has fire and there's lava everywhere, you want to have armor on that protects against fire and lava and shit, and you want to have like ice weapons that'll blast these fire enemies with water and ice and shit and do more damage. It's just common sense, kind of. Paper, rock, scissors type shit. If they're using this, you know, this will be powerful against that, and this will protect against that, and all this. If you go through the game with the same shit on, the same rings on, the whole time, you could be fine, but you're not optimized, and you're not taking advantage of everything you've got to do better in the game. Anyway, these guys are buttholes. Real buttholes. They will kill you in a couple hits. You gotta be careful, take it slow. Just kill them one at a time. Try to pull them one at a time and deal with them like a mini boss. They're not easy. You got these guys, you got the burning stake witches. I think these are Pontiff Knights right here. And there's also burning stake witches who have a halberd and like shoot fire at you. That is super homing and tracking and really hard to dodge. It's annoying. I think I'm looking at the view, or I'm admiring the bent over corpse. I don't know. The view. I got my binoculars out. I wanted to check out this landscape here. Some big ass castle on the side of a cliff. That's pretty cool. This is just the first couple enemies in Irithyll, so we're heading towards the end of the game. Like I said, we're done with all the side shit. We're done with all the bullshit. We are heading straight for the end now. There's these ghosts walking around. There's ash and or snow falling in from the sky. This is a really cool level. I really like it. It's hard too, so another reason to like it. It's easy to die here and get overwhelmed. Which I'll get frustrated just like anybody else, dying over and over, but there's nothing worse than a really easy game that you just blaze through and there's no effort involved. So I'll take this any time of the day. I'll take frustration over dying over just a Lego game that you blaze through and you die and you come right back where you died and all that shit. Like, fuck that shit. I want a challenge. I want to use my brain. I want to use my skills. And that's why I play games. I either want to challenge myself by using my brain, or challenge myself by using my reflexes, my skills, and my brain. You know what I'm saying? You want to test yourself and feel good about accomplishing something, instead of, even if it's a fucking video game, who gives a shit? At least it's something somebody else can't do. It's like juggling. Like, what the fuck? Juggling's not going to get you anywhere in life. But if you're a really good ass juggler, and you can say, hey, you can't fucking juggle, I can, I'm better than you at that shit. If somebody else tries, they drop the ball the first time, can't do anything, can't juggle at all. But you pick up the balls, you can juggle them for forever. It's because you practiced and you're doing something and getting better at it. That takes practice. So, you know, anybody can watch TV or whatever and watch mindless ass TV, and that's totally like not using your brain at all or anything. You're just staring at a TV. Like, playing a game like this actually takes effort, takes memory, takes brain power, takes reflexes, hand-eye coordination, and just, you know, it actually takes effort and skill and is worth the shit. Like, people think video games are just like the devil and not and a waste of time, but you're practicing getting good at something, you know? You're using your skills. And you know, practice makes perfect, and that you can transfer that theory into anything else in life. Maybe it's not going to make you $1 million or you know, get you further in like specific life goals, but it'll help you overall just to use the theory of practice makes perfect and getting good at things and using your brain and just exercising your brain and your hand-eye coordination. It's a useful thing to do. It's not like totally useless like staring at midgets on a television or something like that. Tons of guys here, tons of powerful enemies. These guys aren't super powerful, but they're mixed in with powerful enemies, so they kind of cause trouble. Not sure what they're called. Just looking around, trying to get some treasure. I can't help but do that. We're on a more direct line to the end of the game, but I'm still gonna, if I can go off the path like a couple steps and grab something, I'm still gonna do that. I'm just not gonna go off on a crazy side path, super far off the main path anymore. Here's the witches I was talking about with their big ass halberds and their magic that'll destroy you. Burning Stake Witch. Two more of the Pontiff Knights here. So Pontiff Knights and Burning Stake Witches and Slaves are the enemies you'll face at the beginning of this area. And they can kill you just like that, with their huge swords and their magic and just ganging up on you at least 2 at a time. You just gotta take a deep breath and start over. It's no big deal. Just don't get frustrated. Take them one at a time, get back to where you were, and progress even further. Just try to get further every time. Make sure you get your souls. Nothing makes you feel like more shit than losing your souls, so make sure you get those. Sulyvahn's Beast. I guess that's the name of the alligator dude. Pontiff Sulyvahn is the boss of this area. Once you get past all these crazy dudes, Pontiff Knights, they just have a really long reach. They're kind of twirly. It's kind of like the dancer. These are like mini dancers slash Pontiff Knight Sulyvahn. I guess they're pretty much just mini Pontiff Sulyvahns. Pontiff Knight leggings. Probably pretty good for anybody that wants to do like a medium armor build. I guess we're going to take a look at them. Here we go. Leggings of the Pontiff Knights, now harrowed spirits of Irithyll. These blue-gray leggings, shrouded in a thinly cold air, is light and brittle. So, They're spirits of Irithyll. These Pontiff Knights are spirits of Irithyll. In this area, you can also progress Henri's storyline quest. You have to make a pretty big decision, I think. There's an assassin invisible near Henri, and after you talk to her, if you don't kill him, she's gonna be murdered by that assassin. So you have to choose to whether you want to kill the assassin or not. And I can't remember exactly what happens. If you kill him, I think Henri lives, and if you don't kill him, Henri dies. But I think the way to go about the quest, if you want to get the full quest, is to just let him kill her. But I think I go the other way. And this Pontiff Knight is going in on me. Ooh, and we both kill each other at the same time. I hate that, you know? I figured one person should be able to live. And double KOs are just so rare, but it happens a lot in this game. You would think that couldn't happen. Like, if one person dies while they're hitting the other person, that would mean they wouldn't be hitting them as hard, because they're dying as they're hitting them. So I don't care if it was me that died there, but one of us should have died and the other one should have survived. Like, how does that even happen? Like, how many double knockouts do you see in like the UFC or MMA and shit like that? Doesn't happen. I've seen fighters hit each other at the same time, but usually one or the other will hit the other one harder or first, or knock. You know, if I knock him out and he's hitting me at the same time, his punch is gonna like fall flat after he gets. You know what I'm saying? So that shouldn't happen. One of us, our hit would drop dead right at that moment, you know what I'm saying? So it should take a lot of the sting out of it. But anyway, I mean, I could see it does happen. Double knockouts happen, double kills happen like that. It just happens a lot in these games. It's crazy. It's probably happened twice in this playthrough, I'd say. Chasing me down, these damn Pontiff Knights and their buffed weapons. They're fast, they're wearing decent armor, they have good weapons, they spin. They're like dual wielding half the time. Pretty big badasses. I like them, they're really cool enemies. They just kick my ass. You kinda gotta take one at a time as a mini boss each. And just, if you beat one, breathe a sigh of relief. Use your Estus. Use buffs if you have to on your weapon. Just get past them. Once you get past a certain point in this level, it gets better. It's not as bad. You get to a bonfire eventually, you'll be fine. You open up shortcuts. You just gotta get past this first area where there's like, I'd say 6 or 7 of them, plus the little slave guys. So, there's literally like 10 tough enemies that come in multiples. These guys can kill you in like 3 hits. And they gang up on you. So you use your Estus. Use your weapon buffs if you have to. Just get through here. If you can get through on your first try using up a couple buffs and half your Estus, you'll be fine. You'll make it to a bonfire and you can get your Estus back. And just take it really slow. Use your bow and arrow. Pull one enemy at a time. Try to kill these slave dudes. And don't let them jump in with the Pontiff Knights or the burning witches. Just try to take everything out one at a time. And if you get 2 on you, you can fall back. You can fall all the way back to where you killed the Pontiff Sulyvahn beast. Or the Sulyvahn beast, I mean. You can fall all the way back there. Don't be afraid to run back to where it's safe. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to clear out an area, move forward. If you get in hot water, you're supposed to be able to fall back to that area that you cleared out. That's the whole point. That's how you play all these games, all these Dark Souls games. I'm gonna clear out this area right here with this fountain and shit. And then I'll be able to fall back here when I'm fighting the Burning Witch up there on the balcony, or the Pontiff Knights that come after you kill that Burning Witch up there. I could fall all the way back to this fountain and maybe they won't chase me too much further than here. Let enemies tether. And that fire shit is ridiculous. He's got a magnet on your ass. That is really powerful magic that he will nail you with that shit. It comes up out of the ground right where you're standing. It'll track you. You'll be running to the right and it'll come up out of the ground right in front of you and hit you. He'll do the one where it burns a path in the ground. It'll burn right into you. It'll cut corners right into you. You'll be running out of the way and it'll cut a 90-degree angle on you and just nail you. So you gotta be careful. Them burning witches, you really want to get up in their face and like cut them down as quick as possible. If you stand at a distance and try to play bows and arrows with them, they're gonna burn you up. These guys are like the easy enemies of the area, but they just like to jump in with the Pontiff Knights and the Burning Witches, and that's what makes it difficult. Just make sure you take them out when you can. And they have buffed weapons, so if they get a hit on you, it kind of hurts. But they're pretty easy other than that. There's another Burning Witch. Look how fucking far away he is. Look how far away he is. And here comes his fire. All the way. It went way past me, too. That shit has a lot of range. That's so powerful. I don't even... It's like sorcery pyromancy. Look how far that goes. I would love to have something like that. He is way up there. And it tracks you too. It's not like it's just a straight line. That it'll literally home in on you. See that? How it cut that corner? That's crazy. That's a good ass spell right there. It'd be cool to like try to play through this game as one of those witches. Have a huge halberd with burning ass halberd that's always burning. Have the fire magic that they're shooting. Also have a huge halberd that's like a cross that hits for a lot. Get in on his ass, you know. That's what you gotta do. Just get up close. Then he can't hit you at the end of his halberd. He can't use his magic on you. He drops large Titanite shards, so if you didn't get enough in Demon Ruins or Smoldering Lake, you can get them here. I like to let these Pontiff Knights pass me by and either just keep going and skip them, or fight them closer to that fountain down there, so I don't have a chance of something else jumping in. I don't really want to fight two of them at a time anyway. Two of them dudes at once is like difficult. That's the second corpse that's been bent over a rail. I don't know what they're trying to say. What are they gonna do to me? Am I gonna be over the rail next? You're gonna give it to you, huh? They're telling you these Pontiff Knights are gonna try to give it to you. They're like, pop out, bitch. They're ready to slide on your ass. If you wanna slide, motherfucker, then slide then. Here is a crystal lizard. Never super easy to get, but we get them with our daggers. Not sure why I have my daggers out. They're blessed daggers. That way I can get health back when I don't have Estus. I could stand here with these daggers out and I'd get all my health back. It just takes patience. Another Pontiff Knight. This is a secret area. You just have to hit the railing and the railing disappears. Whooping that ass. Ooh, he got me. Fuck. That's just one Pontiff Knight, one-on-one. Cut me down. Second death of the episode. Shit happens. That's probably what I average. About 2 deaths an episode. Sometimes 10, sometimes 0. But we usually get 1 or 2 or 3. No big deal. We're way back here. We're gonna have to go through all that shit again. This is when you would get frustrated. We made it that far. We were so close to the bonfire and then we died. We did get the shortcut open though, I think. It's not open, but we got it identified. So we did make a little bit of progress. As long as we get our souls back, it's not a huge deal. It's just a time. We just lost time, pretty much. We had about 10,000 souls last I looked. Look at that craziness. Luckily they died I don't know if they died a one backstab if they have full health. But he did die there when he was missing a little bit. From a arrow shot, I think. So if you shoot him with an arrow and then you backstab them, they should die. And they also have magic. Check that out. Homing dark magic. So they're crazy, dual-wielding, spinning spirits that are like a freaking mini-boss. And they have magic. And they have decent armor. It's crazy. These guys are awesome. They're like the new Dark Wraith or Black Knight of this game. Dark Souls 3 introduced these dudes, and they're pretty badass. They're like the Dark Wraith or Black Knight or Silver Knight of this game. It's like the new Black Knight or the new Dark Wraith. That's why they're so badass. They're like skeleton, Four King looking badasses. Mixed with the Dark Wraith. It's like a Dark Wraith and a Black Knight mixed. Pretty cool. Probably my favorite enemy in the game. Them Burning Witches that are badass too, so I don't know. Definitely one of my favorite new enemies. And the boss Pontiff Sulyvahn is a badass too. I like him. He just looks cool. This whole area is one of my favorite areas in the whole game. So I'm glad we got here finally. Just cool enemies, a cool area. It looks badass. It's like a city. The Burning Witches, the Pontiff Knights. It's awesome. And then the boss. The boss is a badass too. There's a couple shortcuts and secret areas. There's the big Sulyvahn beast. Pretty cool. Might be my favorite area in this whole game. It's up there for me. I'm not quite remembering every area right now, but Irithyll and the Irithyll dungeon, that's like pretty much the coolest part of the whole game. Anor Londo is pretty badass too, but I think this might take the cake. If you combine this with the Irithyll dungeon, that whole area, I don't know if you can beat that for this game. Of anything we've seen so far, I would definitely say this is the coolest area. I do like Undead Settlement and the area before that, the first area. But this definitely beats out those areas. Almost back to where we were. We just have to get back to that Burning Witch up there and we'll be cool. We just have to go a little bit further after that and we'll be back to where we were. As long as we get our souls back, that is fine. It's just a loss of time. We could have got further. That's the only thing. But progress is progress, and I'm cool with it. One thing I want to make sure to do is get through this whole game before Dark Souls Remastered comes out. We gotta beat this game before that comes out, so whatever it takes, we're gonna do that. If we're down to the wire the last week, and we still have, say, 5 hours to go in the game, we might have to do a live stream, or we might have to do videos every day, or we might have to do a video every other day for an hour. Whatever it's gonna take, we're gonna get this done before Dark Souls Remastered comes out, because I'm playing that as soon as it comes out. If I have anything to say or do about it, I'm going to play that game as soon as it comes out on my channel. So then we can say we beat Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, and we're playing Dark Souls 1 remastered. We'll beat that, then we've beat all 3 Dark Souls games. Move on to Bloodborne, and hopefully they'll release Demon Souls on PS4 next. Remastered. That'd be so awesome. I would love that shit. Then you could play every single game on here. Even King's Field, dude. I'd play King's Field if they remastered that. They should package all the King's Field games together, remaster them, and release them. Obviously after, let's see, Fire Witch Gauntlets. Gauntlets of witches who bore the profane flame now herald spirits of Irithyll. The witches who led the Pontiff Knights were originally ordained as holy knights. It was not long, however, before their hearts were swallowed by the profane flame. So these dudes are the leaders of the Pontiff Knights. The Fire Witches. But anyway, like I was saying, that would be badass. So we beat Dark Souls 2. We're gonna beat Dark Souls 3. I'm speedrunning Dark Souls 2 right now. That's how much I've beat it. I've beat it like 15 times now. 3 times on the channel. Dark Souls 3, this will be the first time we beat it, but we'll still do more stuff with it after that. But Dark Souls Remastered is gonna take precedence. It's gonna be what we're gonna be focused on once it comes out. But we'll definitely beat this first, before it even comes out. Then it would be so badass if they would remaster Demon Souls and release that, and then package all the King's Fields games together, remaster those and release that. I'd be so happy, but I doubt it's gonna happen. It took them so long to remaster Dark Souls. I don't think they're gonna do, if we get lucky they'll do Demon Souls, but there's no way in hell they're ever gonna do King's Field, because most people don't even know about King's Field. I've never even played it, but I know it's like the first of these kind of games that From Software worked on. You know, it's like the beginning. The super prequel to Dark Souls was King's Field. Demon Souls is where they got their shit together and physically made a Souls game. But King's Field is where they got their practice on and, you know, became a company, From Software, you know. Backstab. Popped out, slid on that motherfucker, and backstabbed his ass. Dory's gnawing is what you get for killing that dude. Dory's gnawing. Summon great insect swarm. Miracle of Dory's the deranged evangelist. Summons great insect swarm to feast on foes. Those who linger too long on the brink of the deep will often slip. Dory's is sure to have wallowed in this darkness, intoxicated by its peril. That's dropped by that cathedral evangelist that's standing there facing the opposite way. Drop down, you can backstab him and get Dory's gnawing. And a witch tree branch, or whatever it said. Witch tree branch. The branch of a large, well-tended witch tree used as a sorcery catalyst. Witch tree staves are customary in the far north, and allow for faster casting than ordinary catalysts. The skill is Steady Chant, which boosts the strength of sorceries for a very short period. Works while equipped in either hand. So Steady Chant, you probably do Steady Chant and then cast a spell, and that'll be a stronger spell. Here we get our shortcut open, so definitely made progress now. Signed, stamped, done. It has happened now. We made progress. Shortcut's open. We will never have to go through that first part again. That is called progress. We don't have to do that first part that we died 2 or 3 times on. Don't have to do that ever again. We made the shortcut, opened it up, and now we can skip all this that I'm running through right now. Alright, we can skip all the way to here, right where those knights are standing. That's where we'll start from now on. because we opened the shortcut. And it might be fairly useful for you if you would just try to run by everything and open that shortcut up first. If you die, I don't know. It might be worth doing, I'm not sure. Ooh. Come on, man. I'm being too careful now. But got him, so careful enough. I don't think you can ever be too careful on these Pontiff Knights. Shooting magic at us. Homing dark magic. That also does some sort of debuff there. I don't know if that's a frostbite or what. Backstab, like I said, doesn't kill them all the way, but if you shoot them with the arrow first, it might. Alright, now we're in business. To the left is the shortcut. So we're gonna go... This is another shortcut, that's like an elevator, I think. I don't know if it's exactly in that spot, but there is an elevator coming up. That is also a shortcut. I can't remember if that's it or not. I think it's a little bit further up. The ghosts walking down the street, kind of like the killing of the first flame in the first game, with the Black Knights walking. Oh, here it is. This is the elevator that will be a shortcut later. Another bent over corpse. They're really trying to drill into your head that you're gonna get bent over and fucked in this area, which we did a couple times. It is a difficult area, so I don't disagree. More large shards. I guess if you missed Smoldering Lake and Demon Ruins, you would be getting some large shards here. So no excuses. You should have at least a +5 weapon by now. Maybe +6. If you look at your weapon and it doesn't say +5 at this point, then you're not doing it right. You should have at least a +5 by now, I would say. All the large shards that you can get up to this point. By the time you fight Pontiff Sulyvahn, you should have a +5 or +6 weapon. There's just too many materials between Smoldering Lake, Demon Ruins, and this level that you should. There's no excuse. You should have at least a +5, +6 weapon by now. At least by the time you fight the boss. Doing his little dance because he's a fruity boy, and he gets backstabbed with the Cell Sword Twin Blade, the SSTB. Gets that SSTB in the spine. Illusion ahead. Ooh. Magic clutch ring. There's something over there too. I'm sure we'll get to it. Just looking around. Like I said, not going off the main path, but taking a few steps off it here and there, and that damn fire witch burning our ass up. From underneath, from the front, from the back, from every direction. Luckily, he is easy once you get right up on him. Just get right up on him, get your face in his crotch, and start windmilling your weapon, and you should be fine. If you stand at medium or long range, he's gonna burn your ass up. So make sure you get in really close and just windmill your arms on him. It's kind of the opposite with the Pontiff Knights. You want to be like at long range, circling, trying to get a backstab. But with the Fire Witches, you want to be right up in their business, giving them the blender as soon as possible. Here is the bonfire. So once again, more progress. Once we tap this bonfire, here's Henri.
Good to see you. I never managed to find Taurus, but my duty must be done, even alone, as an unkindled Lord Seeker. For the children I knew, bless their souls. We all have our reasons, don't we? Please, take this. Recompense my foolish request. And also a token of protection. May the flames guide your way.
Ring of the Evil Eye.
Ah, you are brave indeed, to face your duty alone. I would do well to learn from you. May the flames guide your way.
Quiet resolve.
Ah, I would do well. May the flame.
And I did notice I got invaded, but my luck, I'm at the end of the video. I really need to get done, or else we're gonna lose some of the front of the video. So this guy invaded at the perfect time. I don't have time for his ass. And here's the assassin that's hiding out ready to kill Henri. Yuria had sent her to kill her, I guess. Don't know exactly how that whole quest branches at that point, but I decided to kill the assassin. I really want to hit this bonfire and be done with this video because we're at like the 50 something minute mark and I can only do 60 minutes. Proof of Concord kept. Luckily we touched the bonfire, so we're good even if we die. I just don't have time for this fucking invader. If I had more time I would have been more careful. I'm using a seed of the Triad, the giants. Hoping he will just die and I can get out of here, but
Ah, I would do. May the flames.
my luck, some dude that's pretty decent invaded me right when I needed to be getting off, and like, excuses, right? But if you look at the clock, I'm at like 53 minutes. I can only do 60 minutes. I can't have a damn 10-minute fight with this dude, so, or else it's gonna fuck up my whole video. Of course he invades right before I sit at the bonfire too. I could have been done. Now I gotta wait for him pretty much, so I can't get out of here till he kills me or I kill him. So it's slightly annoying. This dude invaded me right at the wrong time. Worst time possible. I try to cut my videos be like 55 minutes long. That way I never lose the front end, because if I go over 60 minutes it cuts off the front. So I always try to do 50 to 55 minutes just to give myself that 5-minute buffer zone. Undid bone shard here behind the tombstone. So in my defense, I only had like literally 5 minutes left and I was pooping my pants that I was going to lose some of the beginning of the video, so that's my defense for this fight here. Also, it's pretty laggy. Very laggy. And it's probably my fault. My internet sucks. But his could also suck, I don't know. But look at this. I go ham on this dude. I should have killed him right there. He drinks up, so he didn't kill me in one health bar or anything, but he does get a parry right there. Congrats to him. After chugging his drink, he got his parry. Once again, I got him down low and he heals again. Which I have nothing against that, but he got me frostbitten. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I know, I did good. Thank you. Thanks for the clapping. I know I did good. You drank like 3 times, boy. I only drank once, I think. And you caught me at the end of a video, and right at a bonfire. Super annoying, but you win. Props to you. You're pretty good too. No hard feelings. But I'm about to get out of here, so, and that's what I was planning on doing anyway. So just the worst timing ever on your invasion, but it could be turned around and said to be the best timing ever, because you screwed me up. So good job there. And I recorded this about a couple weeks ago because I've been speedrunning Dark Souls 2 and kind of obsessed with that. I did a live stream last weekend of Dark Souls 2 speedrun. Pretty cool. Since then I've done better. I got a new personal best, but that was pretty fast for me and really fun. So maybe we'll do that again too. Anyway, next time we'll finish up this area. We'll fight Pontiff Sulyvahn. So we'll see you then. So please subscribe if you haven't, like if you have, and share and tell a friend, please. And I'll see you next time. Pontiff Sulyvahn, baby. Peace.